Fun fact, did you know that removing caffeine from your diet?
All right. Good evening, everybody. Just a few moments while some other people join us. Okay. Please let me know if you can hear me. Chin, Andrew Daniel. Good evening to you. Success. Good evening. Miracle. Good evening to you too. All right. I believe you can hear me from the response I'm saying. Okay. So some people are still joining in. Just giving 1 or 2 minutes before we kick off. Young Dylan, good evening. Welcome. Believe, happy Sunday. It's crazy that we're having this class on a Sunday. This is the time that people usually go out to Jai. Yeah, this is Nigeria. You know how it is. 8 o'clock Sunday evening. You're supposed to be out. You're supposed to be outside. But here you are, listening to this boring old guy, you know, just trying to keep the grind so that when you're outside, you be outside real hard. That's all good, yeah. Me too. I like to be outside, but I like to be inside as well. Anyways, um, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna kick off in a minute. You can share the link to friends, family, and if you're not subscribed, guys, please come on. Just hit the subscribe button on our channel. That's one of the reasons we're doing this live. The least you could do for us, just hit that subscribe button and share the link to your friends. Put it on your status, wherever. Let them join in. We're about to get some real value here, okay? Um, okay, so it's almost 5 minutes now. I think I usually give the 5 minutes of grace for people to join in, but it's almost 5 minutes now, so we begin. Right, so today's class is not going to be very much different from what we usually do. The only difference is that we're having it here on YouTube. Um, and if you by chance miss it, you can always go back to watch the class again, right? That's one advantage of this one. I don't have to re-record and process and post and do all this long stuff. It's usually very bulky. But right now, immediately after the class, you can just go back and rewatch it. Now, what we're doing here is very simple and it's very powerful. If you were in the last class, the one we had on Sunday, I think the one we also had on Tuesday, right? Tuesday is usually when we have the live market, right? And then we work on it. There were some setups that I explained on Sunday and I explained them on Tuesday class. And there was a setup we actually took a trade we took that same Tuesday on our live session like this. And it was a very beautiful setup. Some of you guys sent me results of that particular setup, which you made some good money from it and some other ones that we also made some good money from. That is one of the advantage of what we're doing here, right? It's not just to look at me telling you this is what I'm looking at, but it's to walk you through my thought process of how I analyze my charts, and you can learn a thing or two from it. Yeah. All right. So, first things first. Before we get to the chart, There's something little I want to share with you guys, or rather just tell you guys, because the aim of you joining this forex business is because you want to make ends meet, right? You want to make profit, you want to make money. When we ask what is the motivation behind behind you joining um, the forex industry and all, there is no two ways about it. The number one motivation is to make money, financial freedom. That's the truth, right? But you see, there's a facade that comes with this kind of thing. There's a mask that comes with the whole forex thing, in the sense that a lot of us come in with the wrong idea, not the wrong idea rather, but the wrong approach. I think that's the better word to use, the wrong approach. And trust me, I always tell my student this, that good evening to you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome in. I always tell my students this year, don't be in a hurry to make money. Don't be in a hurry to make money, especially in the forex market, or else you'll be in a hurry to lose a lot of money. Yeah, I was chatting with one of my students today. She was telling me about the pains and the losses and everything. And I tell her something. It takes a lot of discipline, you know, consistency and discipline. Even when you're being taught something, if you're not disciplined enough to follow it, you will get punished. The market will punish you crazily. This whole Trump thing that has been happening back and forth with Trump sagas, just come out with some statement and the market will just go crazy. He and Powell and all of that. Because of this, I've been like trying to minimize the way I enter trades and all of that, just to be careful. And trust me, personally, these are times that I need money. I have some projects that are hanging that I need to flush in some real money into here. But one thing I would not do, one mistake I will not make again, I've made that mistake several times, is to rush into the market because I need money. Yes, forex is like a cash cow, right? You make money from forex, you put it into other things. Yeah, that's how this thing works. If you just think that you will keep making money from forex because you know how to trade, trust me, you're working in a limbo. You're going to suffer, and you're going to get punished for that. So what I do is I make money from forex and I put it into other things, right? So anytime I need money for maybe a project, I'm working on something, I need some real big funds here. And I know that my first source of income is the forex market. I don't, because of that, put all my eggs and all my effort and mindset on that. Like, I want to just hit five standard lot, 10 standard lots to get the money out. When I try to do that, most times I get punished. That's when I even lose money the most. You understand? That's when I lose money the most. So what I just found out is that the logic is the same. When you have a strategy, the strategy will work, right? Most strategies, in fact, will work. The problem we have is that we're not consistent with the strategy. Excuse me, I have a cold. Please don't mind me. Yeah? So you have a strategy, but you are not disciplined enough to be consistent with that strategy. Maybe you have one, two, three, four failures, and you just think that strategy doesn't work. Trust me, with a win rate of 40%, 50%, even less, a little bit less than 50%, you can still make money from the forex market. I practicalize this for my students a lot of times, right? You can actually make money from the forex market with a less than 50% win rate strategy. The question is, the strategy is not the exact problem. The exact problem is the logic, the approach, the discipline. You have to stick to it. Some of you guys now, if I check your trade history, yeah, you'll find that there is no consistency in your stop losses. Even if you're taking stop loss, let's say you have a $5,000 account, for example, you'll find that your stop loss consistency varies, right? You will have probably a stop loss of $300. Maybe another trade you have stop loss of $200. Another trade you have stop loss of $50. Another trade, just like that. Now, you think that you are doing yourself good by maybe reducing your stop losses and all of that. No. The problem is that we're not consistent with what we are doing. If you have a strategy, you have a risk to reward that you're following, you have a plan. Every account that you want to trade, if it's a prop firm account, if it's a broker account, before you hit buy and sell on that first account, the first thing you need to do is to plan that account. Okay, how do I want to approach this account? Do I want to take certain risk on this account? Do I want to risk certain portion? How much am I willing to risk on this account? Those are the things that you figure out, right? What kind of risk to reward do I want to take on this account? The minimum risk to reward I want to go on this account. Those are little things that you take for granted. Those are the things that will flush you out. Trust me. But if you put all of this plan together and work with that account, you'll find that out. You'll be able to track your record. You're able to know whether you're actually improving or not. You're able to know whether you're making profit or not. At the end of the day, you will see a different light in both the strategy you're trading. Everything will come alive. Put it to practice. Take an account, get ready to start trading. Plan for that account before you hit the market. On a Sunday like this, plan. This account is a $500 account. I want to risk $25 per trade, nothing less, nothing more. Regardless of whether I'm taking losses, I want to have 1:3 risk to reward minimum, 1:2 risk to reward minimum. Trust me, if you try this out, you will have more losses, fewer wins, but you will still come out profitable at the end of the week, at the end of the month, or at the end of the trading cycle that you set for yourself. So, guys, that's my advice for you before we begin, right? Make sure that you always plan every account that you want to trade. Know what you want to achieve with that account, then focus, keep your head down. Trust me, the rest is just history, right? So, no long talk. Today's Sunday. We're not going to waste much time. We still have to do this on Tuesday. So, let's get into the chat. Let me show you guys. Um, let's do a little bit of review from last week setups that we had, and also do a little bit of proactiveness into what we're going to do for the week, right? What we're having for the week. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let me start with this one. Please let me know if you can see my screen. I'm sharing AUD CHF now, so please let me know if you can see my screen. Please, somebody type 111 in the comment section if you can see my screen, or just let me know, please, before we proceed. All right, one person said, okay. So if you guys can see, then we're good to go. All right. So this is USD CHF. This was on Tuesday, right? We analyzed this on Tuesday, and I think I called this out that same Tuesday morning, right? When I just entered the trade, I was the market was just around the entry, and we got into this one. And I remember updating on my Instagram. Yeah, I updated this on my Instagram, letting you know, guys, that this was where I was going to exit. I had my TP point here because of this particular high right here, but eventually, because of a price at my trades here. So I think I remember closing this in the class, right? When I was in the physical at the trade house. Yeah. So this was the outcome of that trade. Patient paid the bill, right? We had a very clean setup. Price pushed up, changed character right here. You can see how we had this liquidity area here. Price came, tapped us, and gave a massive, nice little push in the market, right? Very beautiful setup. As of now, to follow up on this trade, I'm already out of this trade, but we have a new break of structure here, obviously. So if we want to get a re-entry on this trade, because yes, I'm still expecting price to go up to hit this next zone right here, right? So if I'm expecting price to get up to hit this next zone, this will definitely be a break of structure for me. This is a BOS point. Yep. And this is going to be my new area of interest right here, just to keep it simple. This is going to be my new area of interest. And what do I want to see? So when the market opens, remember this AUD CHF, right? So when the market opens, I don't want to see price coming straight into the zone. What I would like to see is price coming close, right? But not into the zone, then move away from this zone. So let's engineer some liquidity around here, right? Then price deep in. If it engineers liquidity or even a double bottom kind of liquidity, it depends on what the market wants to do. But I just need to see those extra confirmation. And one of the extra confirmation I want to see is let price come around this area and then move away. Then I see price deep back in. So this is going to be the confirmation for me to join in for the next push to the upside. This is a pretty straightforward. I don't want to waste much time here because I mean we did this one since last week, so now we're just on the follow up to see how we can get a re-entry, right? So hopefully I'm going to call this out again when I get more confirmation. But this is basically what I'll be looking out for. Keeping it simple, still around the strategy, right? So on USD card, let's switch to USD card. I also have this. These are just recaps from last week. These are recaps from last week. So this is USD card. My network is slow. What is happening? Okay. So this is USD card. Remember this setup? Please hope you can see my screen. I'm on USD card right now, just to be sure. No. I'm on USD card right now, not AUDCHF. I'm done with AUDCHF. Please, I'm on USD card. Can you see it? Are you on USD card with me? Let me know in the comment, please. Andrew, are you with me? Please let me know. Are you guys watching? Are you guys seeing my chat now? I'm on USD card. I want to be sure because the network is lagging. All right, good. Please, we have to do this together so that I don't leave anyone behind. So on USD card, I think when we analyze this pair, we were somewhere around here. Yeah, it was something like this, yeah. And I told you guys that I was expecting. I took this all as a trend line liquidity, right? We had the break of structure, multiple break of structures here, and price started giving us this channel to the upside. It's like a wedge pattern. So normally, because I trade smart money or SMC, doesn't mean that I don't combine it with some price action strategy like chart patterns, right? I combine all these things because more confluence the better, right? The more confluence the better. That's why sometimes you need to learn the basics of price action because it will also help you. That was how I was able to get this channel, and this channel served as a liquidity point for me because now price kept bouncing off of the base of this channel, and at this point, from this lower point right here, this was where we got the entry majorly. Right here we had this order block. If you come down to the 2-hour time frame, you're going to see it even clearer, right? So on the 2-hour time frame, you can see another clean trend line liquidity here. Price never came back there, right? So all I just did was wait, right? I had this marking when I told you guys that what I'm expecting is for price to drop down, then we get on the buy, right? The buy was the main focus. However, if you were able to catch the sell, still good because the sell was pretty aggressive and very, very powerful, right? Dropped a massive number of pip. Now, the problem here is that I didn't catch the sell, and the buy gave a confirmation. Like, look at the confirmation right here. My students, you should be able to detect this because this was a very clean sweep confirmation, liquidity sweep confirmation, right? But I was not on sit and I didn't drop a pending order and I didn't drop an alert. So that was why I missed this first entry. Then I was trying to get a second, that's a re-entry right here. Still using the strategy, trying to catch a re-entry. As you can see, price came, gave us a nice liquidity point, moved away. Look at the order block entry here. But guess what? This was the outcome. This was the outcome. Bam. Everything flew up without giving us any re-entry. Now, we want to wait for a re-entry to join the buy again, but I'm not really seeing anything spectacular, anything that is eye-catchy, because if I don't see stuffs like that, I just leave the setup and go and look for something else. Nothing for me right now. There's no re-entry. The only point I can see is price coming back to this zone right here, but I'm not really interested in this setup again until I see something cleaner. Right now, it's not clean, it's not clear. I've missed the 2 entries I was supposed to get. So I'm done with this guy until the market structure changes and give me something better. I'm not going to force myself on this. I'm done with USD CAD for now, right? Another pair to look at is the Euro USD. Euro USD. Now, Euro USD, okay, before we get to the USD pair, let's get to the dollar index first of all. The dollar index. This is where I usually like to start from. Let's look at the dollar index. And the dollar index is really, really not that much interesting right now. So this is what I have on the dollar index. Price is still reacting to this low, to this area of interest right here, right? And you can see this wedge pattern, this wedge channel that the market is creating. That's why I had these two horizontal lines here. Wedge pattern. And what do we expect from this kind of pattern? We expect a break to the upside majorly, because the wedge pattern this is a bearish wedge pattern, so it's slanting to the downside, telling us that the market is about to get exhausted to start pushing up. And this is the weekly time frame. Remember, this is a weekly time frame. We're doing a top-down analysis on this, right? So if I'm seeing this, and then you can see the last week candle that opened, hold on, this last candle, right? This last week candle, it closed with a nice rejection pattern. It closed with a nice rejection. And what does that tell you? It tells us that we might continue going bullish, right? We cannot still conclude on the weekly time frame. Now let's go to the daily. So on the daily time frame, what we can still see here is another confirmation that we're going to go bullish, right? What is the confirmation? We had this drop and market engulfing this candle, and the next one is pushing up. However, we're still not going to take that with every ounce of certainty. We still have to look beyond these time frames and go deeper into the lower time frames, right? So here I have this engulfing, I have this candle moving up, and the candle is still dropping, it's still having rejections. So that is not going to give me enough information as to what I need. And from the daily time frame, from the 4 hours, I had this area that was not tested, this last point of support that has an order block that was not tested. So it is very likely that price might drop because it's reacting to this order block here, reacting to this area of interest. Now, it is very possible that price might drop all the way down here to sweep more liquidity to continue, or we're just going to proceed to the upside. Either way, we're just going to wait and see, right? So if I'm expecting price to maybe drop down a little bit before it continue going up, because overall I'm expecting the dollar to strengthen as we go into this week. I'm expecting a bullish higher time frame momentum. So in other words, if I'm expecting a bullish higher time frame momentum, then I'm expecting the Euro USD to be bearish in general. I'm expecting GBP USD to be bearish in general. So USD CAD, USD JPY, I'm expecting to be bullish, right? That's my general bias based on the higher time frame analysis. Now, having known this, let's get to Euro USD first of all. Someone said my network is bad. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, my network is actually bad here because it's kind of slow and it's glitching. My network is not quite stable, but are you guys still following? Are we together? Please do let me know. Are we together? Because I feel some people are complaining about the network. All right, so let's get back now. Okay, so we're gonna get to Euro USD. Where are you? Euro USD. I had Euro USD here. Okay, yeah. Now, let me hide this first. So Euro USD generally now looks like this is a daily time frame. Looks like we're already bullish, right? If Euro USD is bullish, definitely, the dollar index cannot be bullish at the same time, right? So I had this really nice entry on Euro USD that tapped me in on Friday. Yeah, it was a setup that I think I forgot to drop this. I had this setup and I forgot to drop it in my VIP self. So I was probably like the only one that took it on my own. I don't know if other persons saw it, but I think I got activated when I was in class. It was a very nice strategy setup, right? We had this order block here, one break of structure, the second break of structure, just like I taught you guys from the last class. And then price came close, gave us the liquidity. There was imbalance FVG, and I see price came, tap me in, and it's going. I'm still on this trade. However, I doubt if I'll hold this trade all the way up here. Now, this is the point where I expect market to come and sweep this liquidity, right, for the drop, because I'm expecting a bearish Euro USD as well. Now, on this particular pair, I'm just going to hold this with a pinch of salt in my hand. And then if I should get any kind of funny reaction from here when the market opens, I'm probably just going to close that trade, right? Or if I just can secure a 1:3 from here, 1:3 should be somewhere around here, like 60 pips or so, because like a 20 pip stop loss, I'm going to get off the trade and wait for a bearish momentum, a bearish market structure shift before I conclude on how to get entries on the sell, because I'm expecting a general drop on an overall drop on Euro USD. Now let's go to USD, GBP USD. Let me tell you the reason why I'm still expecting more drop on the XXX USD pairs, right? On the GBP USD, it's a lot clearer. It's a lot clearer on the GBP USD pair. So this is the daily time frame. Sorry, yeah, let's start with the daily time frame. This is a daily time frame. You can see how we have a very strong bearish momentum on the daily time frame, right? Now let's go to the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly time frame, it is a lot more pronounced. I remember explaining to you guys that this week, this week that just finished, sorry, the last week, right, that just ended, I told you guys that we're going to see like a pull to the upside, which is like a correction, because here we have this nice sweep. Now market gave this bullish candle, then 1, 2, 3 candle dropped back into structure. And whenever we see this kind of movement in areas of interest, it means that the market will drop. If it's on the support level, you see a massive sell, then the next candle drops, push back into the structure, it's going to buy aggressively, right? And this is exactly what is happening here. After this massive bullish candle, we had 1, 2, 3 candles selling back into the structure. So this push to the upside was just like a correctional push. So obviously I will still be expecting what? More sells this week, right? I'm going to be expecting more sells this week and a very bearish move. So in that case, we can also see that from the daily time frame coming down, we have what is solid bearish momentum, right? A solid bearish momentum. So to confirm our push to the downside, all I want to see is price create a new lower low on the daily time frame. But you can see here from the daily down to the 4-hour time frame, or let's hold on daily, right? So this is going to be the target to the downside. You see this zone is going to be the target for the sells, right? So I have an order block here. I have price coming close to my area of interest but not reaching it. So this zone, this buy zone, is going to be the target. So all I'm going to be looking for is how to join the sells down to this zone before we think of what going even further to the downside. But this is the first target. So from the 4-hour time frame, you can see we just had a clean mitigation to this downside right here. Market has mitigated this low and is pushing up. So if market is pushing up, where would I see my next area of interest? My next area of interest to join this sell down will be somewhere around here. Now, why am I choosing that zone? This is the 4-hour time frame. Why am I choosing that zone? If you know, please let me know in the comment section. Why do you think I'm choosing this zone as my next area of interest? Now, this is what this zone looks like on the daily time frame. We're not even getting to this zone here. I'm trying to use this one because the momentum is still strong to the downside. Why am I using this zone? Firstly, let me see. Okay. Why do you think I'm using that zone? When I bring it down to smaller time frame, I think you'll see it a lot clearer. But from this 4-hour time frame, I'm using this zone because of this breakout block. I have a breakout block here. So let me delete this. This was an entry that I could not, that market did not tap me in. So that's all gone. So it doesn't distract us, right? So I have this breakout block here. This was an order block that the market did not respect, a 4-hour order block. You see how market just broke through it like there was nothing there, right? So if this support order block did not hold, what do we expect? We expect it to hold as a resistance. So this is a 4-hour breakout block. Now, this is the zone, but still, to get more confirmation, I have to go to lower time frames to see if I can sieve out the entry, right? So this is 4-hour. Now I'll jump down to 2-hour. Now it's beginning to make more sense, but still on this part of the chart, I'm really not seeing anything. So let me see 1 hour. Oh, beautiful. Now on 1 hour, we have something, right? So this buy is probably going to make its way all the way to this point first, where I have this line, probably react to stop dropping or create liquidity around this area to get mitigated from here. Now, already we can see that on the 1 hour, we have this bearish tweezer, right? A push to the upside and push to the downside, which is more like manipulation. Then we need to have a distribution from this zone. So you see this area is aligning with the breakout block we had on the 4 hour time frame. So this solidifies my zone to be the next sell zone. This solidifies this area to be the next sell zone for me. So this is where I want to join the sell all the way down, right, to this particular zone right here. So I'm looking and hoping to see something like this happen. I remove this and I have this push up like this to this zone and sell to this zone. This is my markup on the GBP USD pair, right? On the GBP USD pair. So, yep. This tells you that, you remember I had a buy. I'm currently on a buy on Euro USD, right? Which tells us that, yeah, we're going to push up, but we're still expecting an ultimate sell to the downside. So you see how the correlation of the pairs are aligning, right? Now, to even give you some more correlation, that is the reason why we see USD CAD is still very bullish, and USD, which other USD again? USD JPY is also bullish, right? We're going to check that out as well. But first things, after this GBP, after GBP USD, let's look at USD CHF. Now I did have this on USD CHF, although I did not enter this trade. This buy zone, it got active, not hit SL, moved into profit, but it's dropping again. However, I'm still expecting a bullish move on this one. Maybe this time I'll catch the entry, because right here you can see how price is reacting to this order block here and dropping. So I expect this drop to come all the way down here to this new zone right here for the continuation. So let's go to the 1 hour. You're going to see it better. Yeah, something like this. So I'm expecting this market pull up a bit, drop down here for the continuation. Remember, if the Euro USD is going to overall sell, if that's what is going to happen, that means the USD CHF is going to overall buy. It's that simple. They are opposite correlating pairs. So we're expecting a sell there, we're expecting a buy here. Up to this zone first things first, right? Because this is a new area of interest. So if you can catch a buy from here, this is where the TP is going to be first before we start thinking of the long-term buys, right? Somewhere around here. So this will be brought down like this because we are rearranging our entry to this. It's more like a 1:4 risk to reward rate, something like this. Yeah. All right. So I'm done with this one as well. Then I think I have something for you guys on GBP card. Yeah, it should be GBP card. Yeah, guys. That's true. Breakup block on that one, right? So I've got something on GBP. Is it GBP card? Hold on. This is USD JPY. Oh, okay. This is USD JPY. Let me see. Okay, let's just touch on this USD JPY. You see the reason why I said the dollar is going to still continue being positive, right? GBP JPY is still very much bullish, right? From the daily time frame, I have something here on that daily time frame, which is this. Let me hide this. On the daily time frame, I have this order block here that did not get mitigated. Market just gave a resistance turn support kind of reaction, pushing up, but we might see price breaking these two liquidity points here and coming back for this particular zone. However, if you go down to the lower time frame, you're going to see another thing, which is from the 4 hour time frame. You see this zone right here. You see how market gave a nice clean sweep. So this is a protected order block. A nice sweep to the downside, the market shift back into the structure, and from there we'll have this move. So we expect that this will be the first point market to react to here, right? So if this cannot hold, if this does not hold price for the buy continuation, we're going to expect price to come back to this zone right here, because this is aligning, this zone is aligning with the daily time frame order block, right? If I go back to the daily time frame, you're going to see that this is aligning with the daily time frame order block. So yes, this is it on GBP, on USD JPY. Although I'm not really going to focus more on this. There's this one I want to show you guys here. US GBP card, I think. I have a very sweet setup that I'm waiting for on GBP card. Is it GBP card? Yeah, GBP card. This is probably going to be like my trade of the week. Should I get an entry? I usually have like one particular trade that gives me really nice push and nice highlights. So I usually call that like a trade of the week for me. And I feel like this particular pair, is going to be the trade of the week for me, guys. So let me explain this. This is a daily time frame on GBP card. And I remember last week I told you guys that GBP pairs have been dropping, right? GBP pairs have been falling like real bad. Now, if you look on the daily time frame, I have this line drawn here as my destination, as I call it. I like to call it a destination because I know this is where price is headed to. There's a lot of low points, which is like an engineer liquidity overall around this area, and there's this order price is coming down already. Here we've seen some minus break of structure on a lower time frame. We've seen this impulsive move, so let's look at it on the 4-hour. You see how clean it is on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, from the daily, we've already seen that we're in a very bearish move, right? Then from the 4-hour time frame, I had this since last week, but market has not done anything, right? It has not broken. That's why you see this setup here like this, like market push, and now I've gone beyond it. However, if you look closely, right, this is the area of interest, the sell zone that I'm expecting price to come to. Now, market has been playing around inside. So this is my what? This is what I call my trading range. From this high down to this low is my trading range. So whatever happens inside here is just a correction. It will manipulate, correct before it continue moving down. But if you look closely, you would see that even inside here, let me shift this. Even inside here, there's a very nice play that just happened, a play that I actually missed. You see right here, very beautiful one. It's a sexy, very this setup. When I saw it, I was like, I can't believe I missed this. I didn't see this. This is so beautiful. Like this is laid out pretty A+ setup. And now you see what is happening here, right? The market closed below, then went back into the structure. This is a sign that we're going to push all the way up. When you see this kind of movement, is telling you that, hey, we're going to go all the way up, right? So if I'm awake and this market opens, I don't like entering when the market opens, especially if I'm not trading something like gold, right? Because market might manipulate people a lot around here. However, if down to London session, this market does not move, it just plays around here, maybe drops a little bit, trust me, I'll probably join in the buy here and put my SL just below to ride it up for joining the next sell. All right, so ultimately this is my main goal, to join in from here, sweeping all of this as liquidity, and then market dropping all the way down for me. And this is a nice 1:6.5 risk to reward, right? Which is 6.59, which we can round up to what? 1:7 risk to reward. So you should get something like this. Imagine on your Profim account, maybe in a 100K Profim account, and you're risking 1%. This is straight up 6% or 7% if you hold, right? If you can hold. But even on your normal broker account, you can make good of this particular setup should the price play out as expected. So basically, this is what I'm expecting from the market. Come there like this, drop in and give me this nice move. So this is probably going to be my trade of the week highlight, majorly that. So the last thing I want to share is on gold, because I know some of you still ask, look at gold for us. What's up with gold? Now, this is what I'm seeing on gold. This is what I'm seeing on gold. So this was before all this bullish, traumatizing momentum move of money. I know some people that were not on the buy, they were rather on the sell, and this market was carrying them on a serious journey of a lifetime. Now, personally, this was where I think we did our last analysis, right, on gold. And I was expecting price to come and sweep this liquidity to mitigate this order block here. But did it do that? No. After this drop and market pushed back into the structure, this was what I'm telling you. Now, this is exactly what I'm telling you about stuffs like this here. When you see this, market drops and push back into structure, this is the go-to strike, right? Sometimes it can waste time around this area, just find one small order block or liquidity point on a smaller time frame, use it as a catalyst to just push up. You will not see price coming back down. Now we are reacting to another area right here. Now I'm still expecting the dollar, um, gold to be bearish, because if you look at the daily time frame, this is what we're having: a massive bearish move, right? Massive bearish move. And market has been resisting from this point for God knows how long. It's been a while now, since I think since April we've been in this range on the daily time frame. Right now we're dropping, so when I see more drop, that'll probably come to take out this low. So my job is to join in on how to join the sell, not buy at this point, right? How to join in the sell. Because even if market should come to this area of interest that I had before, right here, this area of interest, I'm not probably going to hold this trade for long if I get in on the buy here, because this buy can easily be violated because of the selling pressure that we already have from the overall higher time frame, right? So what I'm going to be looking for right now is price to drop a little bit, push up to get a re-entry from anywhere around this zone. So from the 1 hour time frame, because I like to get my entries from 1 hour, right? From the 1 hour, if market does not drop from here, these are the points. I have one area of interest here, right? You just have to be thorough and understand everything and drop another area of interest right here. Now we're going to wait and see what happens. Should market come and create and engineer a lot of liquidity around here, we're going to use this. If it doesn't engineer liquidity around here, then this becomes the area of interest for the sell continuation to the downside, right? So these are basically the setups that I have for the week. At this point and juncture, if you have any setup you want me to check for you briefly, we still have like 15 minutes. I can easily check and we'll see what the market is holding for. All right. But from my end, these are it. I've looked at so many pairs, and trust me, I really don't have anything on those pairs, right? You can't force something on the market. But trust me, when the market opens here, and we'll begin to see some actions, a lot of things will change, a lot of structure will change when the market opens. And those changes can be in our favor. It can bring about seeing a structure in a different light. So when I don't see anything like this during the weekend market lookout, I just wait. I know that on Monday, I don't trade much on Monday. So on Tuesday, before you know it, you will start seeing new setups form. That's why we prefer to have our live class, right, on Tuesday, when the market is all settled and we can get more structures for the week. But for now, these are all I'm seeing on all the pairs that I've looked at. This is what I have. So do you have any pair apart from this one that I've checked? Do you have anything you want me to look out for in the next few minutes? Just two persons, two pairs, and then we'll check it out to call it a night. Some of us or some of you that want to go and club tonight, you're free to go. The class is going to be over in a minute. So please let me know. Do you have any pair that you want me to check out? Let me know in the comment section. US 30. Huh. Yeah, situate that. US 30. Don't think I've opened in like ages. US 30. It's a buy, it's a buy, it's a buy. Just hit buy, 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 and you're good. Okay, looks kind of interesting. Ah, no, it doesn't look interesting, bro. Doesn't look interesting, trust me. It's in a very dangerous state. Even on the weekly time frame, it's in a massive all-time resistant high. Yeah, it's in a very, very, very peculiar area, and it had a lot of imbalances on the smaller time frame. Let's see what the daily. On the daily, we are still very much bullish, and you see the market is creating something, this kind of thing that I don't like. This is, remember, this is a resistant area from the weekly time frame, and it's trying to struggle and break forth. This might just be the break that it has been waiting for. However, there's a lot of plot twist to this because, I mean, we have this order block, which is now a breaker block that the market just tapped into, which might be a possibility that price will still come back in proper mitigation before the move. We have imbalances even below this particular order block here. So I don't trust any buy from here unless you have a very proper breakout. By proper breakout, I mean a breakout that came out well, then slowly started coming back as a correction like this. That is when I can respect the continuation of this buy, right? Other than that, you might just have a manipulative move here where price can go up and then drop back into the structure. When that happens, now we are more reactive. We should be more reactive than proactive in cases like this. By reactive, I mean you wait before you see before you react, not predict and then react. No, you wait. If we have a clean breakout, market drops slowly, you know that okay, we're going to have a continuation on this buy. But this is a very strong resistant area that we might have a manipulation, right? So a manipulative buy, then price drops back into the structure. Now, if we see this, we just know that okay, we're ready to come fill up all these spaces, right? Now we're just going to wait for a retracement and then we join the sell. That is as much as I can tell you on US 30 right now. So there isn't really much here. It's in a very, very crazy point where price can easily manipulate a lot of people to join in on the buy. So you want to be careful. You want to wait for price to push out completely, then slowly come back for a retracement. Then you can join the buy. Or it's when it does a manipulative move, you understand how to catch a manipulation, right? So when you catch the manipulation, just drop in on the sell. That is going to be a lot more safer. So it's pretty easy and clear. Nothing much from that. Of course, I'm sharing the screen. You mean I was not sharing the screen? Are you kidding me? Wait, so all this explanation, did you guys didn't see it? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hold on. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now? Please let me know. I'm currently on the US 30 trade or the US 30 chart. So let me know, please. Okay, if you can see now, okay, let me go through the explanation again. Yeah. So I was saying ultimately it's a very bullish market, right? But if you look at the higher time frame, because this is the first time I'm analyzing it in a long time, you can see that we are in a very massive, strong resistant area, right? This is where market is reacting to. So yes, we are in a bullish market, but you have to be very careful in these kind of places because there could be very, very big manipulation about to happen in the sense that we still have a lot of imbalances to come fill up in this zone. Now, two things are going to happen is either the market continue buying or it reverses. Now, if it wants to continue buying, this is what you should be expecting, right? You want to see a push out and then price slowly in your smaller time frame before the continuation happens. Now, this is one scenario. You want to wait for the push to finish up, then wait for a retracement to join. Or because this is a high probable resistant area, they know that a lot of people are seeing buy, so they might want to manipulate and sell. All right. Now, for you to know that it is a manipulative move, you want to see a buy push, then a sell back into the structure. Now, when you see that, just know that it is a manipulative move and the sell wants to actually start. So what you just do is to find your re-entries on a smaller time frame. That is it, period. Like that is basically two outcomes that can actually happen here, and that's how you can take advantage of the two outcomes. It's either you wait for the buy to happen first, then you wait for a re-entry, you find a re-entry, or you wait for the buy to sell to happen, then you wait for a re-entry. That's just it. Nothing more, nothing less, right? So yeah, somebody just reminded me, excuse me, GBP JPY. GBP JPY have been silent for like throughout this week. It has been silent. It has been very choppy, just ranging. Yeah, you can see this, right? A massive range, very beautiful range on GBP. Like, look at it on the daily time frame first of all. It's just, isn't this a beauty? Like, it was not doing anything, just massively ranging, and people were still trading this thing and making money. In fact, yeah. Now look at it on the daily time frame. Now, let me remind you guys something. Remember last week when I told you guys that this is the first zone that market will tap in here, react, but I'm not interested in this one. This is the major buy zone that I have, right? This one right here. Now, you see, we have mitigated this point already. This order block I've mitigated, which was a good one. Actually, if I had seen this, I would have bought because from this point to this point here is some massive peep. Now, what is actually happening? You can see that the buy did not break any structure to the upside, right? So it is struggling, giving a lot of wicks to the upside because we want to still drop back to this zone. This is the major buy zone we want to see price get into before the movement, right? So if I should bring this down to like 2 hour time frame, it becomes even sweeter and clear. So what do I want to see here? You see this reaction here. Market reacts to this place, causing an equal level liquidity. So here's what I want to see. I want to see that sell that will push out, probably fill up this gap, mitigate this order block, and then drop back into structure. Now, when I see this, all I'm just going to look for is a re-entry to join the sell all the way down to this zone, and it's going to be a very beautiful setup if we should see a manipulative buy to sell here. So should I have this area taken out and drop back into structure, then that's my signal to join the sell. That's my cue. Pretty much easy. So I'm just going to wait for price to give me that. Then I find a way to join this sell before we start thinking of the buy. Should we even get all this sell move like this, you will find out that you might even not be interested in this buy again. But like, I've made enough profit already from this move. Let me just rest. But we never rest from making money. Should the opportunity present itself, you're gonna have to strike real hard because trust me, when the SL start coming, they are not going to pity you as well, right? Okay, so this is as much as we can take for today. Um, on Tuesday, we're going to go live and check out trades that we're going to still take that day and for the week. This is just a market outlook for us to see what the market actually holds for us. Right. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. Have a good night. If you missed out on it, you can go back and rewatch the video. It's going to be uploaded straight on our page here on YouTube, and everything is going to be there for you to watch again. Right. Thank you very much for your time. Please leave a like if you actually got value and enjoyed this class today. See you guys on Tuesday. Bye.